I'm Seth at S&S Vapors, and today I will be doing Coil Building 101 for tanks. Now, today we got just a regular coil that you would have on basically almost any tank. This is bottom feeder coil. It fits in the Pro tank, the David, just about half the tanks you buy. And well, what you first need to do this is you need your Kenthal wire, you need some scissors, you need a lighter, and I suggest getting some pliers or something to hold the wire because you're going to be heating it up. And you need a 16th drill bit or drill bit near that size. So basically the smallest one you can find. A little thing about the wire. I still don't completely understand everything. I'm figuring it all out. But the best way to look at the wire on what to get, my associate explained it to me like this: think of it as a highway. The bigger the highway, the more the cars. So the bigger the wire, the more wraps you can do around this drill bit to make a coil. The smaller the highway, the less cars that will be on there. So that means the smaller the wire, the less wraps you do. I mean, it's a sort of a simple way to look at it if you're getting a little confused on what type of wire to use. It's very all just a little confusing. But hey, this is 101 basics, so. But with that coil I just showed you, found out 28 gauge Kenthal is about as small as you want to go. Because I tried my 26 and it didn't work. But what you want to do is you take the wire, put it up on the drill bit like that, and you want to wrap it around. Most of coil building is trial and error. I mean, I do admit doing drip atomizer coils 10 times easier than messing around with these coils that go in the tanks, because you got to mess with the metal pieces, try to get the coil inside there. Like the Nautilus Aspire, the whole thing's shielded. It's just one big tube and you got to try to put the coil inside. It's a pain, but it works. It's a little more difficult. Dripping atomizers, you just build it, put it in the post, there you go. But here, I'm gonna start wrapping this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright. Now, how many times you wrap, it's completely up to you. And the ohms the coil puts out all depends on the wire and the many times you wrap it. I found out 9 wraps on this 28 gauge will get you about 1.2 ohms. Alright, now there's your coil. After you get it wrapped, you want to grab a hold of it with something, and you want to torch it. Get it hot. And I'm sorry for the dullness of my voice today. I'm still kind of tired. I just woke up. Ended up not going to work today. Didn't feel too good. Alright, you get that coil nice and hot till she's glowing. Then you squeeze her together. What that does is push the coil It makes the coil stay together, gets the connectivity better. And I want to thank everybody for viewing our videos, and we really appreciate our subscribers. We're trying to get as much information out as we can and keep everybody posted about the newest stuff. You do this a couple times. I only do it about twice, Squeeze it together. You don't want to squeeze it too hard because you'll crush the coil and make it go slanted and everything. You just want to sort of hold it together. See? That's why I suggest getting a pair of these. These are the niftiest things. Alright. Gotta let that cool down for a second. In the meantime, after you do that, you need cotton. You can also use the twine. I don't like using it myself, but it's a little bit easier to work with because it's already in strands, but you get yourself a little sliver of cotton. It's probably too much even. Jesus, cotton will go a long way too. This is definitely the best way to do coils. It's cheaper, so you don't have to keep going and buying them. But you want to twist up this cotton like that, roll it in your fingers until you get it pretty slim, because this has to slide inside the coil. So you got to get it pretty skinny. I'm going to keep doing that. Make sure your hands are clean, or else you're going to get this cotton all dirty. Alright. Now, here's my coil. I'm going to take this cotton and put it through. Leave some excess on the sides. You will be cutting off the excess cotton on these. But there you go. It's a 7 wrap on a 16th 28 gauge. Yeah, and I suggest don't touch the coil like right after you heat it up and cinch it. You might not be too happy. Alright, next you want to take that piece. Got some leftover cotton in there. Alright, this is the piece. See, I'm just trying to get you familiar with which piece that is of the coil. But you see you got 2 slots on each side. This coil has to be even with those 2 slots. You just slide it down in there. Like so. Actually, my coil, you got to mess with them, get them evened out. Mine was a little cockeyed. Alright. Slide that in there like that. Alrighty. Then you got your rubber insulator. Now you got 2 wires sticking out the bottom of this whole thing. Oh, mine are all twisted. Alright, you want to separate them like that. This rubber piece, one of these wires has to go inside this rubber piece, and the other wire has to stay outside of it. But you just shove it back down into the metal. If you can, that's the worst part. I'm sorry, everybody. Alright, see there? You got 1 wire coming out the center of this rubber. Then you got 1 piece coming off outside of it. Alright, then after you get that on, you just gotta twist this to where it's going parallel with those holes on the side. You gotta mess with it. Make sure it's not popping up too high, or else it's gonna touch this top metal piece and it'll ruin your connection. Alright, now after you get that done, you want to take your bottom stem and shove it in there like that. Don't squish it too hard or else you will ruin that rubber piece, then your connections will be no good. You may have to mess with the coil a little bit, get it looking good in there. After you get that on there, you want to snip off the excess. Now with these coils, you got to snip it off right next to the metal. The malfunctioning. Yes, you may accidentally pull the cotton out. Here, I'll just put new cotton in it. That's another way to do it. You can fit the coil in there, then wait till you get it in there to put the cotton in. No problem. There's no problem with that at all. See, coil building, it's trial and error. You do it wrong, you just start all over again. It's a little frustrating at first. I was very frustrated for a little bit because I was putting the wires wrong and it looked good. The building of it looked good, but I would never get a connectivity. So it's frustrating. There's definitely, if you miss one step, it'll ruin it and you'll have to build all over again. Let me twist a little more cotton. And I'll tell you what, these boxes, like this is the box my hammer mod came in. Keep these boxes if you're going to build coil, because you'll need a little box with your kit in it for coil building. They make the best boxes to hold that stuff. Whew. Alright. There we go. And you don't want to make the cotton so tight on that coil because it'll choke the coil out. Let's try this again. Alright. Perfect. Alright. After you clip the excess cotton off, the easiest way to do this, toenail clippers. You gotta clip these wires off right at the edge. Like so. And then the only part left over is putting this top piece back on. So that's kind of hard. There we go. Alright, you got that. Then a little rubber piece goes on the very top. And there is your rebuilt coil. Now if you bear with me for one more second, I will put it in a tank and put it on my MVP and see how many ohms it's going to run at with with any luck, it'll be lower than 1.2. Because I sort of wanted to make one that was lower than that. The lower the ohms, the higher the power. And I got it on my David. This is where an ohm tester, or at least an MVP, comes in handy. Or something that'll read ohms. Alright, moment of truth. Oh yeah, it's running at a 1.1. Let's see, vapor production. Huh. Oh, now it's saying 0.9. Well, anyways, that is a rebuilt coil. And I suggest doing that because it's a lot cheaper than going out and buying pre-built coils. So you just watch this video, subscribe, follow. We'll have a lot more videos on the way. And thank you for watching.